Hey guys, I think it's been 2 months since I've picked up a camera, so let's do a little recap, shall we? Ray and I first started sharing our lives as full-time liveaboard cruisers back in January of 2021, but things are looking a little bit different now. Let me explain. The last video that we posted was in early August and we were hauling our boat out of the water. She is still on the hard in Florida, and since then we've been taking some time to visit friends and family on land. But we are spending the next 2 weeks here in Montana in this little cabin in the mountains, and I figured it would be a good time for us to film a Q&A and maybe show you guys around. Alright, first question. What is the name of your boat and why?
The name of our boat?
Yes.
Our boat is Salvador, which is Spanish for Saturday. And that name came from my desire to live life like every day is Saturday. And so far we're doing it.
How come it's Spanish?
Because it sounded better than just Saturday. No, I traveled a bit in South America and made a good friend down there. And he was talking to me about my outlook on life and how I live life. And when I said that I lived it like every day was Saturday, he was also helping me learn Spanish. And so he corrected me and said Salvador, and it just kind of stuck.
Okay, so the next question we got was what kind of boat is Salvador? So she is a 2017 Lagoon 42. So she is 42 feet long, 26 feet wide with 3 cabins and 3 heads.
Step into there, poop.
Okay. Pretty good spot for lunch, huh?
Not bad.
Is this your first boat?
It is my first catamaran, but not my first boat. I've had a few other boats growing up in Alaska.
That's my first. How many years have you been living aboard full-time?
I have been aboard full-time for a few years, and Holly joined me 1.5 years ago.
Hey, sweetheart. I don't have anything for you. What is your typical annual budget for the boat?
For like repairs and maintenance and just general expenses, it averages right about 10% of the value per year. There we go. All right, so the next question is, if you had to live on land, where would you want to live?
Oh, we've been talking about this a lot lately, and I think it's less about where we would want to live and more about like the situation. We definitely want to be on a bigger piece of land, somewhere where it doesn't snow, and I think it would be like an off-grid type house. We really like being self-sufficient.
Cool. One more question.
Okay.
Are you cold?
I'm freezing. My fingers are numb. Hey, how long?
What's up?
How long do you think we could be offshore without having to come back?
That's going to depend on food. Really, that food is our limiting factor. And we've loaded up Salvador with a lot of food at the beginning of COVID when nobody knew really what was going on. We had what amounted to about 6 months worth of food for 4 people. But that would require us to eat a lot of rice and beans. So 6 months.
Another question that we get a lot is, what do we do for a living? And neither of us have proper jobs right now. We're both living off of savings and investments, but before Salvador, I was working as a research microbiologist doing infectious disease research. What were you doing, Ray?
I was doing engineering type stuff. Oh, and I owned a couple bars.
Yeah.
So we've got a few people who have requested a tour of Salvador. Are you gonna do it?
Yes, it's coming. I figured I would wait until we got all these new upgrades, and then once she's back in the water, I will film a full in-depth boat tour. Whoop, Montana traffic jam. Well, we're in Florida. We flew back a couple days ago and we still have a few more questions that we want to answer, so I think we're gonna head on over to the boat and answer them there. Hi, Salvador! She's a little disheveled right now. We've got all of the fridges that we kept open so no mold grows. All of the cushions are in a temperature controlled storage unit. We've got a sail sitting right here. Our freezer's out. We've still got this dehumidifier. It worked really well, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. It's just super loud, that's why it's back.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the last upgrade that we filmed before we hauled the boat out of the water, and we got some cool questions on it. So Ray, do you want to just give like a basic rundown of what you've done?
Yeah, sure. And I will say that this panel is just a template. So we've got the real panel here. So what you see in blue is actually tape on a piece of plywood. So it's not finished yet. We're going to install it all on the real panel here in the next couple of weeks. But so what I've done here is I've installed a touchscreen monitor that's connected to a server on the boat, and this is completely separate from the navigation system that we use that's built into Salvador. But this connects and gets all the same data. The reason that's important is this is running Windows, and things tend to crash occasionally with with computers, not just Windows, but with computers in general. I'll turn this down. So what that means is this can completely stop working, and it will have no impact on the boat's safety or our ability to navigate. So this really, it supplements what we have. It makes it easier for us to get data, see how things are doing, and just quickly, what it is we're using time 0, and this is zoomed way out, and it's showing the weather on there right now. Easy to update. We can update this through our satellite system or Wi-Fi, whatever connection that we currently have. So let me turn the weather off real quick, just to make it a little bit easier to see. And then we'll just zoom in. It knows where we are, so it makes it a little bit easier. So we'll just zoom in here, and there we are on land.
Aww.
So
that's sad.
It is. And the other thing that this does is it connects to our AIS system, which is this Vesper Cortex. This is the handset for that. Amazing system. We'll probably do a video that's just on that. But that pulls in all the AIS, so all the other boats and ships around us it'll pull them in, and then it'll give us, you know, the information on these boats as well. So we can use this for trip planning. We also use it to track where we are. It'll display, you know, the wind speed and the wind direction and depth and really anything that we monitor. And then what this also does is it's connected to a lot of different systems. Everything's shut off on Salvador right now. Most things are shut off, so that's why we're seeing a lot of this no data. Although we are seeing refrigerator temperature. It also serves as our entertainment center, so we have movies and TV shows loaded into this, and it allows us to play it on our main TV that's over there. And then other things too, like we've got every single manual for all the equipment on the boat is in here, so we can pull up that data, and we can also access it from our iPads and iPhones as well, since it's all networked. What else? Oh, we have the entire Wikipedia downloaded onto it. So if we're out in the ocean and we need some information on something, we can pull it up. So anyways, that's kind of it in a nutshell, and I'd be happy to talk a little bit more, especially about Time Zero. Time Zero is an amazing piece of software. Yeah, so all we have left to do is finish it.
And all the supplies are right here.
They're all right here.
Waiting for a less hot day, maybe.
Yeah, speaking of that, I need some iced tea or something.
Let's get out of here.
Okay. Okay, here's a question I want to know the answer to.
Okay.
What are our plans once we get Salvador back in the water?
That's a good question. I think we really want to cross the Panama Canal and get into the South Pacific, but right now everywhere we want to go down there is closed. So I think the current plan is back through the Bahamas, maybe Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, USVI, and then depending on what the South Pacific looks like at any point in time, maybe we'll spend hurricane season in Grenada.
Yeah.
Somewhere warm. The goal is definitely not to come back to the United States if possible.
Yeah, COVID has really changed our plans, huh?
Yeah, so ideally South Pacific, but more realistically, Bahamas, USVI, Grenada.
How has COVID impacted us recently?
Maybe you should answer that one. You've had more experience with it than I have.
Well, it's delayed us quite a bit, and we're not complaining. There's people in much worse situations, but our sales have been delayed significantly. We're getting all new sails for the boat. Actually everything from upholstery to a helm seat to parts to build a fuel polishing system. It's all been delayed to the point where we've had to switch sail makers, and which I think is good. We found one that's local, uses all local U.S. made material, so there's no shortage. You can get it. It's all high quality stuff. We can work directly with them, so that's good. But that, again, it's delayed us quite a bit. So it's looking like a couple more months before we're going to be able to sail away, unfortunately.
Want to explain why the hull looks all wonky behind you?
Oh yeah. So we were in a marina here in Port Canaveral for a couple of months before we hauled out, and there's a really good, stream from the ICW that comes right out in this marina, and it's nutrient rich. We actually hired a diver to clean the bottom of the boat, and so we thought it was okay, but we hauled out and it was dirtier than I've ever seen it. So currently getting some sanding taken care of. It's taken a long time. You can see this hole has already been complete. Most of it has been complete. So
I think it's just this
just
underneath part that still needs to be sanded.
So yeah, then it'll be time to do barrier and bottom paint, and that'll happen just before we go in the water.
Yeah.
So really it's just the bottom paint, and then we still have a sail drive that is getting the seals changed, and once that's done we can go in the water. But we still have a lot of work. A lot of work.
Another question that we got is asking, you're a little bit taller than me. Another question that we got is how do we like divide up the work on the boat? And I think primarily it's by ability. I'm a better freediver than Ray is, so I usually handle anything below the waterline, but Ray has years and years of experience in engineering, so if something breaks on the boat, he's more likely to be able to fix it than I am.
Or make it worse. One or the other.
But I wouldn't know any different. And then I think secondary to that, it's based on joy. So if there's something that Ray hates doing and is such a chore, but is something that I don't mind or something that I enjoy, like grocery shopping, then we kind of like divvy it up based on that.
Yeah, and I guess I get joy out of unclogging heads. Oh, no.
I have to cut that out. What would you say your favorite and least favorite part of living on a boat are?
Least favorite is what we're doing right now.
Living on land.
Living on land. No, and actually doing this work, hauling out and doing this work, we know that it's going to lead to much more enjoyment in the future, so just got to keep your eye on the goal. And then I think the best part is just the freedom. I mean, we just get left alone.
Yeah, I agree with both of those.
Yeah.
I think that's all the questions I have.
Perfect. Let's go get some sushi.
Okay.
Bye.
Nice.